Why is it that so many men only open up after a few drinks? And what happens when the drinks disappear? On this episode of the MarshyCast, I'm joined by the rapper, actor and mental health activist Professor Green, also known as Stephen Manderson. We catch up 15 years after our first interview, which he kind of remembered. We also get into some really important conversations around men's mental health, crisis point culture, and why so many men struggle to ask for help before things reach a breaking point. Stephen also opens up about sobriety, realising alcohol no longer worked for him, how touring feels different sober, and why he's looking forward to heading back out on the road with Example. It's Paul Marsh, and I'm delighted to say that I've been joined by rap artist, actor and mental health activist Professor Green. Stephen, how are you?
I'm good. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm very, very good. Now, you absolutely will not remember this, but the last time I interviewed you was 15 years ago. You were just beginning your career with Just Be Good to Green, and once upon a time, many years ago, I was known as DJ Grind.
Oh my God. That does ring a bell. Blimmin' hell, mate. It's crazy when I I've done the numbers. I do feel old. I do and don't. The numbers make me feel old. I feel great sometimes.
So we got 15 years of catching up in 10 minutes. How are you with that?
Yeah, sweet. Let's go. It's been mental. Next question.
Now, I always say, because I also spoke to Anna Williamson recently from Celebs Go Dating, and she spoke so highly of you. And I think that I remember when you first came onto the scene, obviously because of the rap battle that you came from and everything else like that, I think you had a bit of a reputation for maybe being a little bit spiky, but I always remember when you came to the studios in Portsmouth at Express FM, you were an absolute gent. You were brilliant.
Wicked. No, do you know what? Battling's battling. You can't go up. You can't get on stage and be a gentleman, can you? I'm sure I was in some instances, but when you're battling, you're there for a reason, and that reason is to insult someone and make it rhyme and hopefully be funny. And it's improvised, so the gentlemanly thing comes down the line. But Anna was brilliant, and quite a scary thing for me to do. It was funny. Songs that I have relating to relationships and things that I talk about, and it made me realize how far away I am from the person that was. That's still me historically, but growth is a wonderful thing. And I guess we're going to be talking about therapy today and the importance of conversation around mental health, men's mental health. The research that BACP have done, the British Association for Counselling and Psychology, but all of that has come from that kind of me then and me now has come from growth.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Because it always makes me laugh when people bring up things from 10 years ago, and they say, "Oh, you said this 10 years ago," and you go, "I'm literally a different person."
If you want to go back in time and have a word with that guy, you can, but there's no exactly. Sometimes people, but then I think that speaks to just where people are stuck themselves. If someone can, and this is I've had to note this as well and learn this and action things in my own life because of it. If someone can't get beyond the you that you were to allow for who you are, if they're not willing to see that, then there's not really space for them in your life if you want to be healthy and happy.
Yeah, isn't that the point of all of our lives? Is that from the ages of, let's face it, late teens, early 20s to where we are now in our 40s, it's about growth and growing as a person and changing your opinions and growing up. Life deals you some pretty messed up hands throughout the year, and it's about how you deal with that and become that better person.
Yeah, and that's why I think this campaign's great. Campaign's called Outside View, partly owing to the fact that 80% of men say they don't want to walk to clear their head, clear their thoughts, and 55% of men using that time to catch up with their friends and perhaps talk about their issues, but also about the outside view that what's the word I'm looking for? That you can get from a therapist when you sit with them. An objective view without bias, without judgment, that can ultimately aid you in your development if you're not at a point of crisis. But sadly, the research shows that 7 out of 10 men won't access therapy or attempt to access therapy until at a point of crisis. And I've been there. It's happened to me while I've been having conversations like the one we're having now, encouraging people to build support into their life where they need it, and that there's no shame in that. You know, I found myself at a point of crisis because I wasn't tending to things I should have been. But being able to acknowledge that is helpful, and that comes from the therapy that I've done and being able to catch things earlier. You know, I'm still susceptible to things. I'm still going through stuff. I will continue to go through stuff, but I recognize my cycles a little bit better, and so that allows me to catch things a bit earlier and hopefully stay a bit safer and avoid as much crisis.
Hopefully, yeah. I was doing an interview about sisterhood a couple of days ago, and talking about the bond that women have, and the fact that they will help each other and they will talk to each other. And with men, it's all about the banter, isn't it? And like taking a mickey out of your mates and all of that type of stuff. But in amongst all of that, because that is all great, by the way, but in amongst all of that, at some point you got to put your arm around your mate and have a little chat and just say, you know, what's going on with you, mate? Or I've been feeling this way. It's about opening up and being a little bit honest.
It is, but it comes from being, you know, you look at the language that's used, like as kids, you know, women have no problems being tactile within close proximity, and neither do young boys, and to the point. And then, you know, people get called things and whatever. But, you know, and then we stop and we feel awkward being tactile unless we're drunk, and then we're giving each other a kiss on the cheek. I love you, mate, and all that silly stuff. But it's like, why do we have to be drunk to be in close proximity and to be able to open up? Also, that's not the best time in the world. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's been great conversations and potentially life-saving conversations that have been had then. But why does that have to be a necessity? Why can't we learn to be more comfortable, firstly in ourselves, develop a better relationship with ourselves, and therefore, you know, have the ability to then have better relationships with everyone else, not just other men. You know, the relationships you'll have with women. If I had the head on my shoulder now, my God, the relationships that I've had previously, the benefit, you know. And I see it in bringing up my son. You know, I'm teaching him things now that I'm only just learning.
I think that's the important thing. Again, same with me and my kids. It's bettering what you learned from your parents, isn't it? You know, it's taking everything that we've learned and going, right, I've learned this over the last 40 odd years of my life. I'm going to pass on my experiences to you. You are later this year, you're going back out on tour with Example. How's touring changed for you, especially thinking mentally and your mental health and all of that? How's touring changed for you over the last 10 to 15 years?
I do it sober. To be honest, I do it sober. I prioritize sleep. I recognize that, you know, there's parts of it that I didn't really enjoy. And so what I would do is I would drink to facilitate doing more of the bits I didn't enjoy, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, I did what I did with the tools I had at the time. I know better now. So to go and do the same thing would be idiocy. And I'm not going to. I look forward to it. I actually am so excited about the shows and experiencing them. It's so different, and I'm so much more present. You know, there was fun in all the chaos of it, but like, it's a weird industry where you show up and you can have a list. Who else shows up to work and has a rider of whatever alcohol they want in whatever amount do you know what I mean? It's like, it's encouraged. We've got to get beyond this. You need to be a rock star thing. You don't. You just need to make good music.
It's stepping out on stage and being able to be that rock star doesn't mean you have to be that guy in the dressing room.
No, it's like, you're a musician, right? Your talent shouldn't be in down in a bottle of Jack Daniels, should it? Really? It should be in making good music.
Look, Stephen, I could talk to you all day, mate, and fingers crossed at some point down the line we get to do this all over again. Hopefully sooner than 15 years this time, if we can, please. If people want to find out a little bit more about what you've learned and everything else like that, where would you suggest they go?
I would go to, especially if anyone is in a place where they feel they need support, or they want to access therapy, or they want to explore it, I would go to outside-view.co.uk.
Well, look, it's been absolutely brilliant talking to you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy touring again, and we'll catch up again soon.
Catch up soon. And as you said, hopefully in less than 15 years.